mind blown after watching the Duke Blue Devils defeat Kentucky by 34. John Calipari looked shook on the sidelines. He didn't have any answers. I mean, I don't think anyone realistically would have answers for what the hell those top three stars provided. I mean, Cam Reddish, Zion Williamson, and R.J. Barrett were unbelievable. The thing that stood out to me the most is that this team, this Duke squad, played like they were together for years. Seriously. They were not playing selfish whatsoever, and all three of those guys are used to being the stars on their own squads. Well, they come here and they play like a team. They play like they've been working with each other for years. It's crazy. The ball movement, the athleticism. You can see Kentucky struggled offensively because of how athletic some of these guys are. I don't think I've seen a college basketball team like this before. On the fast break, unstoppable. Their perimeter shooting, unstoppable. I don't know how you're going to do it. R.J. Barrett, I'm going to be honest, obviously I don't know too much about these guys coming out of high school until I watched them play. But what I saw out of him tonight, the way he can attack the basket and these Euro steps and these tough shots he makes while getting contact, it's crazy. On top of that, he can stroke from three. Cam Reddish, same thing. He's got a beautiful stroke. And Zion's just a beast. He did hit one three-pointer today. He hit another mid-range jump shot. But when he takes it to the rim, his athleticism is displayed on such a different level. I've never seen an athlete with that type of body structure and being able to jump that high. I mean, sometimes he was out-rebounding guys, and he was like 500 feet in the air. I don't get it. And an easy putback. He had an outstanding block. He, grabbed it from him. He's running up the court, bounce pass, executed perfectly. And they get 2 points. Even their role players stepped in. O'Connell with some threes, White with some rebounds. He was all over the glass. You have Jones running the point. This Duke Blue Devils team actually looked like a serious contender, and it's game one. They look mid-season form. Game one. That's scary. I mean, I have not seen a college basketball team look this solid in, I don't know if ever. I always remember that Kentucky, that undefeated squad, but this is different. I mean, these three stars are on a whole nother level of unbelievable. On top of that, Jones is a phenomenal athlete as well who runs their point. At one point, Zion was honestly running the court. He had the ball in his hands, and that was because of a mismatch, but he was dribbling up the court, and he was the primary ball handler for a couple possessions. The dude's a freak of nature. Now let's take a look at Kentucky's end, all right? Because they had two guys that stood out to me. Travis, the grad student from Stanford who came over, and he just played his heart out until the end. He's an older guy. I believe he said he's 23, so he brings some value to the squad. On top of that, Johnson stroked the ball pretty well. A little disappointed in P.J. Washington. Obviously, there's some holes to fix, but when you go up against that team, I don't care who was playing Duke tonight. I don't think anyone was beating them. They were just coming out on a whole different cylinder. They had a spark lit under their ass, and they just shot out of the cannon. It's funny, you hear all these freshmen starting, all these big-time recruits. You got a game like Duke, Kentucky, and that type of atmosphere. They shut them up. They shut those Kentucky fans up to the point where they were leaving early. 35-point blowout. Now the stat lines, R.J. Barrett had 33 points, 4 rebounds, 6 assists. Zion had 28 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists. Reddish had 22 points. I mean, that was the storyline. Those players were just on another level, and I'm stoked. A lot of people hate Duke, and I'm not one of those guys that hates Duke. I have no fandom in college basketball. I just love it. And this team was exciting. I mean, when they're up 25-plus points, and I'm sitting there just wide open, my eyes wide open, just glued to the TV to see what's more. At point out, I was laughing. I was laughing because I was thinking to myself, this isn't real. This team is unreal. It was crazy to watch. It was so entertaining. So Duke, making some noise. That's kind of an understatement. But dominating. Just dominating. There was another game that was earlier, Michigan State and Kansas. And honestly, Kansas was in the lead for this entire game, but only about that 10-point area. They couldn't pull away insanely, and that let Michigan State kind of hang in there. And then with about 30 seconds left in this ball game, it came down to a 3-point game. But Kansas did find a way to squeeze out the W. They were in control 99.7% of this game until about the end where Michigan State made their push. But Grimes looked phenomenal for Kansas. He had 21 points. Azubuike is obviously a great player. They had to yank him due to his poor free throw shooting, though, late in this ball game. And then Lawson had 20 and 14 as well. So, I watched that game. It was fun, but it didn't top what I saw out of the Duke Blue Devils in the second game. The athleticism is wild. The takes to the basket, I can't get over. I keep replaying some of these plays in my mind. It just doesn't make sense. Honestly, it doesn't. The way they run the floor, the way they shoot from the perimeter, it's going to be a crazy year. I'm excited for it. Let me know your thoughts down below. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.